What is up, gamers? This is Proto, and welcome to another episode of Like or Dislike, where we look at some of the latest games that come out. I do a review on it, give you my synapse on the story, what I think about the controls, and everything after putting some time into it. And today, we are looking at ARK-ADE. Now, this is a very interesting take on the first-person shooter set in the VR, with its mix of nostalgic levels and old-school shooters and its Tron-like theme. Now, story-wise, an AI-controlled app game starts taking over the world, and you venture into the game to try to stop it with help from a companion called ARK. Now, that's the main premise of the story. I kind of don't want to go too far into it, because as you progress through it, it starts opening more and tells you more about going on. So I kind of don't want to spoil it from that point. Now, the game is completely played in VR, and it supports Oculus, HTC Vive, Valve Index, and Windows Mixed Reality. So pretty much all the major VR platforms is on. Now, this game can be played either standing or seated if you want to. I chose to play it standing because that's just me. Now, you'll have 7 different levels to travel through with 3 different modes of difficulty to challenge your skills and leaderboards on each one to show off your high score. Now, each level has its own theme with a different terrain to move through, traps to avoid, loads of enemies trying to stop you, and ARK trying to prevent you from getting to the next level. And you pretty much traverse these levels using your directional pad on your controller to move forward. Now, ARK has his own set of weapons that you will have to destroy to give him damage when you have to face him at the end of the level. Now, he's not extremely hard, but he's not a pushover either. You will have to avoid his bullets and objects that he throws at you. And as you start fighting him, he's going to start trying to adapt to you. So you may have to change up your way that you attack him, certain ways that you go after him. And it makes it interesting. Every battle doesn't feel the same when it goes against him. Now, your weapon of choice is you have a light gun that you use to take down ARK soldiers and robots that can be turned into different guns when you shoot power-ups. Now, some of these power-ups are machine guns, shotguns, and lasers that have a certain amount of ammo that you can use, and it changes back to the regular gun. So pretty much you shoot the power-up, you have the power-up until the ammo's out, then it goes back to your regular gun. And you can reload it as simple as a real first-person shooter. Put it down or put it up and it automatically reloads. Now, keep in mind, if you have the power-up and you do it, you automatically go back to the regular weapon. So keep that in mind. Now, the controls for the game are very responsive, and the accuracy is great if you're aiming for headshots. It is very satisfying when you're aiming for headshots and you get it. Especially if you're using the special weapons, it definitely feels very satisfying. Now, I didn't see any real glitches or issues in the game. The game ran very smooth, no major problems, no crashes, and that's kudos in my book. Now, graphic-wise, the Tron-like theme gives it a nice setting and helps you pick out enemies to shoot very quickly. Because pretty much everything is kind of like in a dark blue setting, and the enemies are in red. So when they pop up, you can quickly hit them. Because another thing you have to keep in mind is your health and ARK's health are tied together. Certain enemies will go only after ARK and not you, and vice versa. So you have to keep an eye on that, because if they're focused on ARK, that's affecting your health too. Now, the music was really good, and it really flowed with the game very well. Each level had like its own little musical theme, and it was very uplifting, kept you in the game, kept you in the mode, ready to go. And pretty much all this gameplay was captured using the Oculus Rift S. And that's pretty much the game itself. With that being said, let's look at the pros versus the cons. And starting off with the pros, the first one we're going to look at are the weapon power-ups. I thought the weapon power-ups were done very well. Each one feels very different, unique. Some you could pull down the trigger and hold it. Some you got to pull repeatedly, and I like that. And certain power-ups, you'll find which ones you like more, especially when you got certain power-ups used against ARK. Now, next part we're going to look at are the levels. Each level, like I said, has its own little theme, and you have to traverse them differently. On some levels, you will be moving through water. Some you'll be flying through the sky because of ARK. Some you'll be able to go through an amusement park. That's just one of the levels. I don't want to tell you which one. And it, like I said, it broke up the anonymous of being a shooter, because enemies going to come at you from different areas. And the last part we're going to look at, the game has a lot of replay value. Now, granted, it only has 7 levels, But with the different levels of difficulty, and trust me, I played it on the different levels of difficulty, it definitely makes it challenging. It makes you move, react, because you can actually dodge the shots, but they can't. And like I said, with the leaderboards, you want to try to get the higher score. You want to try to go again. Maybe I can do better. Maybe I can get them faster. Maybe I can get all the enemies. Maybe I can take less damage. And so it gives you a lot of replay value for that, especially if you're going against other friends that have VR games as well. Now with the pros done, let's take a look at the cons. First con, the game is repetitive. It's a shooter. It's a first-person shooter. You're going to be shooting more or less the same enemies. Some get a little bit more variety. It gets interesting when a lot of them hitting you on the map, but you're pretty much doing the same thing. You're trying to stop them from shooting you in ARK. So if you get bored of that, if you're looking for something that has puzzles in it, this ain't going to be the game for you. Now in this con, we're going to look at the game is short. Like I said, it has 7 levels, but like I said, it has a lot of replay value with the different levels of difficulty, with the leaderboards. So it is short, but it does give you a reason to get back into it. And the last con we're going to look at, the game is VR only. I think it would be very interesting if you could play this outside VR, but honestly, I couldn't see it working without it being VR because you would want to be very responsive. Of course, you can always use a mouse and keyboard, but I don't know. To me, this game is more suited and better suited for VR. So, but if you don't have a VR headset, you won't be able to enjoy this game. But like I said, it's on every major VR platform. So if you got a VR headset or you think about getting one, this is a game to look into. But that's pretty much the pros and cons of the game. Overall, I really enjoyed the game. I highly recommend it if you have a VR headset and you like shooter games, especially shooter games where you can just get in, enjoy it, and play it and get out. It doesn't feel so long-winded. And like I said, with the challenging levels, the replay value, I think it will be very interesting. Like I said, especially if you like VR shooter games. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know how you guys feel. If you're thinking about getting the game or if you already got the game, let me know in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, always hit that like button. Let me know if there's a game that you want me to take a look at and I'll try to see if I can pick it up. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I talk about stuff going on in the gaming and tech world. I do reviews of some of the latest games to take this out. I do top 10 new games coming out every month and so much more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and my other social media pages so you can keep up to date with what's going on if you want to reach out to me. I love talking about gaming, so don't be afraid to hit me up. You can also catch me streaming on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and either every Saturday or Sunday, playing a good variety of games. So if you want to catch me playing games, you want to join me in playing games, you're more than welcome to hit me up there. But this is Proto, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.